When's the last time you actually read a book? And no, scrolling through the manga on your phone or staring blankly at your linear algebra textbook doesn't count. I'm talking about an actual book. Now, if you're a habitual reader, this video is not really for you. Please continue to watch, but I'm going to be talking to the other side of humanity real quick. The people who don't read. Because if I'm being totally real, growing up, reading was not my favorite thing. One of my core memories, though, used to be going to my school library, typing up the name of the book I wanted in the school library computers, and then writing down the Dewey Decimal number on the scrap paper that they have, the small pencils they had, and then searching for that book and then finding it. That's a core memory in my head. But slowly but surely, you didn't just read books. You started answering reading comprehension questions, writing book reports, and slowly but surely that slowly evolved into writing papers until you got the high school final boss, literary analysis essays. And to be honest, those were the bane of my high school existence. I hated writing those. Plus, I take honors level classes where I write more essays and read more books, and you might be thinking, Mohit, why'd you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? I don't know. I think it was just a combination of nitpicking symbols and analyzing themes that I wasn't interested in or could care less about. I get it, guys. I know the A in Scarlet Letter stood for adultery. I get how George killing Lenny symbolized the hopelessness of most American dreams. I didn't need to write 5 or 4 page literary analysis essays about that stuff. Free my boy Lenny though, he didn't deserve to get done dirty. But now that I think about it, neither did Curly's wife. A more concrete example of this was Fahrenheit 451. I hated that book with every fiber of my being as I read it. I remember watching the movie. The movie's rated 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I still found watching that movie a more enjoyable experience than reading the book, where in most cases I actually enjoyed the book more than any screenplay adaptation. I remember slowly falling out of love reading. I spark notes all my English essays, and I said the most wackiest things ever during Socratic seminars, and I just slowly stopped reading even for fun. Until one day I saw a book title that genuinely caught my eye, and I was like, screw it. I downloaded it on my Kindle paperback, and I was like, you know what, let's just give it a try. And oh my god, this book genuinely wowed me. It had me glued to it. I remember being in class. I remember putting my Chromebook in front of me, and instead of playing games on my Chromebook, I remember putting my phone in front of my Chromebook and reading through the book instead of attending class. That's how good the book was. And I started realizing that if you actually pick up a book out of curiosity, you will actually enjoy it. Because when you read a book, you're actually actively engaging with it and connecting with it on a deeper level. Other than when you're watching a YouTube video or a movie, you're more likely to turn your brain off when you watch it. Also, books stick with you. You might forget this YouTube video in the next 10 minutes. Please don't, but the right book, bro, it's characters, storylines, it's lessons, or just that one line that totally changes your perspective on life. I've read books that have actually made me feel emotions I thought I never had. They low-key proved to me that my heart wasn't just made out of stone. But let's say you're not into narrative books, not into books with a clear story. There's also books out there that teach you stuff and help you with life as well. Self-help books that help you get out of your head, or financial advice books that teach you financial literacy, or books that just improve your quality of life. There's so many out there that I can't even list them all. So what are you waiting for? Pick up a book and actually read it for once. You lazy son of a... Hi, it's me again, and I'm here to share some of the books I read and maybe recommend you some in the process. First book is The Bridge. Honestly, this book changed my perspective on so many things in life, moving forward, working on myself, and I am so thankful for the person that recommended me this book. It's a story about 2 high schoolers who go to a bridge with the same purpose, and let's just say the story splits from there. If I tell you any more, it'll ruin the surprise. I still remember myself reeling from the surprise. It's so good, and it explores stuff depression, mental health. Some people even say the book's like a lifesaver, but that might be a bit too much glaze. But for me, it was really moving and honestly gave me hope for the future, and maybe it'll do the same thing for you. Second book, Diary of a Murderer. It's a bit of a weird one. it's like a main story, and then it's got like a bunch of like sub stories afterwards. And the main story is about this old guy who journals about his like past life of him being like, you know, a serial killer / murderer. And it's kind of hard to keep up with because it's like he's got dementia as well, so like slowly but surely his stuff gets like really hard to follow. But once you like catch up with a pattern, you're not gonna want to let go. And the short stories that come afterwards as well are fire. Like, they made me feel emotions that I thought I would never feel ever. And it honestly made me shed some tears as well, a little bit during the book. And I don't know what category or genre I'd put this book in. So if you're looking for a unique book with a unique plot and something that's moving, check this book out. Third book, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now. A lot of people have looked down upon me for reading this book because a lot of people say it's smut. And I've got a few opinions on this, right? First one. This book is like 7% like spicy stuff and like 93% like fire story, okay? It's about a famous celebrity who recounts her like rise to fame through her like the 7 husbands she's been with, which sounds a bit weird, but trust me, the way this story like intertwines with like the future and like the storyline with like the reporter she's talking to and like just like the ending as well, absolute book, like so fire. And I'd hands down recommend this to anyone who's into like historical fiction or like biopic stuff. Like, I feel like this book could literally just be a biopic, but even if it was a biopic, I feel like this book would be better than the biopic. Fourth book, 13 Reasons Why. Honestly, I was really late to both the book and the series. The book came out like a while ago, and like I think the series came out when I was in like middle school. And I only read the book in high school and then watched the series after that as well. Hi, it's me again, about a few weeks into the future. And watching back that video, I kind of realized that I didn't really do this book enough justice. So I'm gonna redo that real quick. This book is about a girl who ends up taking her own life and leaves 7 different tapes with 13 different reasons on it. Each reason is a person or someone that made a mistake, and the protagonist of this book is listening to these tapes, realizing like the mistakes everyone made or that he might have made as well. It goes and explores a lot of different things like depression, bullying, and you know how screwed up high school social life really is. Honestly, I always thought the series was worse than the book. It's a unique take on a mystery thriller, and you're kind of like rewinding and going through the past and seeing like the events that unfold, which ended up causing someone to take their own life. It's kind of sad, and I wouldn't recommend reading it if you're not really in a good place right now. Give it some time. But yeah, the 5th book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And if I'm being totally real, this is the book that generally got me out of my reading slump. Let me just give you the premise real quick. It's about a high schooler who tries to solve a murder that happened a while back. Everyone thinks that they found the murderer. The murderer was like found dead with the victim, but the high schooler tries to find out who the real murderer is. And this book had me glued to it like from start to end. And again, it's the same thing where like it's about some high schoolers, but if you're past that part of your life, you might not really care that much about it. And there is a Netflix series about it, but I feel like that they toned it down a lot. They made it like hella kid friendly and British, which are both the downgrades to the actual book. So if you want like thriller, that's a page turner, get this book or either 13 Reasons Why. Also, FYI, you might not actually like these books, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna like any book out there. Plus, like with like self-help books or just like any book, you need to like put effort to like learn something from it or like, you know, take something away from the book. You need that motivation. And if that's not for you, that's fine. But how else are you gonna know unless you try? But other than that, I think those are like the first 5 books I like remember reading and enjoying after I like started reading again after I came out of my slump. There are a few others, but like this video is long enough. If you want to see more content like this about like books and stuff, like the video, maybe leave a comment. But that's about it.